All right, so with that amazing view, I'm gonna do my live, uh, preview of Elimination Chamber. That's gonna be at 4 this afternoon here, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and it's probably the most one match pay per view that I've ever seen on paper. But still could be surprised. But that one match will be amazing, and I think we're gonna see uh, Seth freaking Rollins steal the show, win, lose, or draw. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be the man, no, whether he wins or not, whether they stick to Roman's plan to face Brock at Mania. If I was the booker, what I would do is I'd have Seth and Roman do something at the end that just makes it like, oh, the heck won, to add Seth to the main event, which would make the main event so much better in terms of wrestling than seeing Roman do the same move. Would be a Superman punch versus German suplex versus Superman punch versus spear versus S5, and that's about it. With Seth, you had a totally different ball game. You had everything. The high flying and the so yeah, that would be a great wise move. And even if you want to have Brock lose the title and Roman be the champion, you can still do it. But at the same time, you'd have a great wrestling match with Seth being in it. So my pick for the main event is that Seth will definitely be the show stealer, as he always is. And Finn also will have a great showing in it. It's going to be a great match. And that towards the end, it's going to come down. Maybe, even though I don't really care about The Undertaker anymore, since he's old and basically, being a joke. It's sad to say, but it's the truth. He can barely walk, and he should have retired 10 years ago. But hey, he still wants to grab a little bit of a spotlight. That's okay. He earned it. He earned the right to do it. So, Taker, Cena. So yeah, of course, Undertaker couldn't interfere and cost Cena the match. Well, it's part of the match, so that's a possibility. But in the end, I think it's going to come down to Reigns and Rollins. And also, rumors through that they want to have that program leading up after WrestleMania. So, maybe Rollins being frustrated, whatever, or Roman being angry. He can start something there, So, but my pick is that it's going to be both Seth and Roman coming out of there and be the new challenger for the number one challenger for Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, which would be amazing. And the Ronda Rousey signing, I think, was did to grab a little bit of people's attention in Vegas, and she fought here a lot. And, I don't give a shit about Ronda Rousey, and I don't give a shit about women's wrestling. Everybody knows that, and I'm not afraid to say it. And that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. If you don't like it, then I got 2 words for you. Well, you know what it is. So, definitely, Ronda Rousey could help bring some people here in Vegas. Well, which all of itself is a good thing. If it gets more people to the arena, I'm up for it. The rest of the card is filled with, I don't have no fucking idea why Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil, would get the opportunity to face the bar. It's like, okay, yeah, they won a few random boring matches on TV. I got nothing against Apollo. I think Apollo is probably one of the best young athlete in the company. And what he needs is a little bit more charisma. And I think that Titus gives him that edge. But, it's kind of like Heath Slater and Rhino. They've been losing for so long. They've not even been teaming. And all of a sudden, 2 or 3 random quick wins that make no sense. And the number one contender. So it's a throwaway match, hopefully leading up to the revival. That match would be money. 2 old school tag teams like that, they would steal the show. So hopefully the revival will show up and do something. Unless they're in the doghouse, which wouldn't surprise me because they're good wrestlers and they're opinionated. So, yeah, everything you need to be in the doghouse. I'm good, and I say what I got to say, So I'm in the doghouse. Makes a lot of sense, right? Well, that's how it works. So, Yeah, I would think that the Revival showing up at least could add a little something. Then you have Woken Matt already against Bray Wyatt. I love Bray, but poor Bray having to carry Broken Matt. Woken Matt. Broken Matt fit him more because he looks like he's 80 years old. So he walks and wrestles like he's 90 years old. So, yeah, it's going to be a boring match. What can you expect? Bray can do it all by himself. So, Bray probably winning makes more sense. Then you have the Elimination Chamber women's match that I'm going to watch since I'm going to be there. But I don't give a shit what's happening inside. My pick is... well, who's wrestling in the match? I don't know. So, yeah, my pick is one of the 6 women will win. That's a good pick, right? And, no, seriously, I think Alexa Bliss will retain. Yeah, I love her. She's good. She's good to heel. She's cute, too. She's pretty cute. Even Braun said it. If Braun said it, I agree. I'm not going to disagree with Braun. So, yeah, I think Alexa will win. Will we see a heel turn by Bayley or Sasha Banks? Maybe. Maybe Bayley would add to her character because she's got a little something, I'm sure, that untapped heel charisma. And I think that she's going to be good enough to make the heel turn. With Sasha, she's already a heel. She has a face that nobody can like. And she's already a heel, even being a face. But Bayley would add something to her character. So I think Bayley's heel turn makes a little bit more sense, in my opinion. But like I said, I don't watch women's wrestling. I sometimes happen to stumble upon it because now we're fucked with about 40 minutes of it on Raw. So 40 minutes is a little bit too much time to, I tweet and everything, but yeah, sometimes, I stay in front of the TV and I watch, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it surprises me, especially lately with the addition of the Riot Squad, and yeah, I think they're good wrestlers. So no, I gotta say that women's wrestling is on the rise right now, which is a good thing. Also, wanted to tell you that last night was what a fucking awesome night. I went to the House of Blues Mandalay Bay to wrestle with Bruce Pritchard and Conrad Thompson, and the special guest was a five-time WWE World Champion Booker T, and it was amazing. The show was about 2 hours and a half. Had a good laugh. Bruce is uncensored in those live shows. A lot of swearing, a lot of beer drinking. And that's the kind of live podcast that Steve Austin would have fit perfectly in, But it was cool to see Conrad is such a great host. And Bruce is such a master storyteller. And Booker was very entertaining for the 35, 40 minutes he was there. It was an incredible live podcast. And I couldn't recommend it enough that if you ever stumble into a town where there's a WWE pay-per-view, and if you want to go to see a live WWE pay-per-view, you know that Bruce Pritchard does his live podcast every pay-per-view. Most of the time at House of Blues, and it's worth it. It's worth it. You know what? Is the way he imitates Paul Heyman, Let me tell you something, good sir. The way he imitates, Vince McMahon. Well, pal. Yeah, everything he does, from Pat Patterson to Jim Cornette, motherfucker, to everything. Yesterday, I didn't see a lot of Jim Cornette. I think you forgot about Corny. Let's tweet about it. There was no Corny imitation last night. What the hell was wrong with you, Bruce? What the hell was wrong? He's your buddy. You're in Vegas, and you have no corny jokes, but there was a lot of jokes about Vince McMahon. Holy motherfucker. That was crazy because there was a joke about Vince and proposing an angle, and that didn't make any sense, because what happens in the live podcast stays in the live podcast, but and they spend 9 hours on the TV, on the phone, with Vince, trying to convince him that it didn't make any sense. And his only response was, well, I'm the Jack Hammer. Anything can happen with me. And they finally convinced him that, no, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It was rated R back in the day. A lot of jokes about Vince Russo also. Poor Vince. Bro, if it's on a pole. It makes sense. It's over, bro. So it was a lot of fun.